Hey guys, Moving here, 100K to Fire Movement, and this video is going to be a little bit boring. I'm going to talk about the full disclaimer and full disclosure about the risk, the agenda, and also some critical questions, especially if you are considering embarking onto the accelerator program. And my whole purpose of this, right, is to be as transparent as humanly possible, and also to be able to be protective for you as possible, and at the same time to be fair for both of us over a long run. So first thing first, 100K to Fire program, right, involves leverage ETF and also option strategy, which carries inherent risk and also higher volatility. You may lose some, you may lose all, or you may lose even more than your initial capital. So as much as possible, we design our framework in a way that at the very most, we will lose our initial capital. But then because I'm not the one doing the trades for you, I'm not legally allowed to do that anyway. So you're the one who does the final trade yourself. And let's say at one point of time, if you were to sell a naked call option, and then eventually instead of selling one naked call, you sell 10 naked call, and then somehow or rather the next week the investment went up to 300%, that situation unlimited loss potential. So as much as I create frameworks to manage our risk, but I can't guarantee the suitability of your situation and also control the market outcome and also to predict a market outcome. In other words, right, I wouldn't ask you so much about your family situation, your life stages, how much insurance coverage you have and all this, because I don't think I'm in an appropriate position to do so, namely because I'm not a certified financial advisors. I'm just a regular person trying to solve my own problem. So I think respectfully, I wouldn't want to do that to understand more. Until and unless you feel that you are comfortable sharing a little bit more about yourself and whichever that is relevant, then you can share that and I can listen to that. But other than that, I wouldn't ask it. And next, right, this is an education program. And this education program, you'll learn about how I sell ETF options weekly to create weekly cash flow. And you'll also be learning the tools, the screen one, screen two, and those tools to take calculated risks in the financial market. And this is not regulated by any MAS. And once again, this is not licensed by MAS as well. So if you're living outside of Singapore, MAS is a financial institution where they governs the financial activity in Singapore to make sure that we protect the consumer, to make sure that everything is sound and so that there's no anything that's fishy and all. So by participating in this, you take full responsibility over your own financial decision. And so please seek independent professionals if necessary. So because of that, I'm not liable for any loss or damage under Singapore or international law. Quickly move on. This is a full disclosure and also my own personal agenda, right? So many of you know that every single morning I write a reflective post, and it started out trying to understand exactly what I want to do with my life. And eventually, after day 231, if I'm not wrong, I anchored down that I want to commit myself to get better, to even master for that. So for that, ever since then, I have been making content with an intention to make money, just with a longer term vision. So for start 2025, my goal is to build trust with busy professionals, to grow 100K to Fire Movement with 100 founding members. And in the long run, we want to be in a place where none of us, we have to rely on a job, a boss, or even a client for our livelihood to survive. And let me share with you a little bit more about the job, subjectively and objectively. Objectively, retrenchment can happen anytime. And with the rise of AI, we are not so sure which job will still be around, So I want to be in a place where we can take care of our financial independence as much as possible. And at the same time, subjectively, we have different strengths and different worldview about how do we contribute, whether it's for our family or even our workplace, particularly workplace, right? And if we have different views with, let's say, the leadership and the direction is very different, it's quite hard for us to really contribute the way that we can best serve. So because of that, it limits our growth, limits our career progression, which also our financial progression as well. As for clients, we don't want to be in a place where we need a client to survive. So what do I mean by that is that a very straightforward example is if you were to talk to a desperate salesman and this desperate salesman need to clear off debt. So what would they do? They will do whatever it takes to make you believe that what they have is the best for you, that you are super suitable for them. But we don't want to be in a place, because if we are in this place, then we wouldn't treat the opposite party with highest quality and also highest integrity as much as possible. Looking back, what I've realized is there's a difference between expert and also salesman. And I mean, it's okay to even work with salesmen, but if the salesman has an aligned agenda and aligned intention, they want us to win, then okay. But we don't want to be in a place where we buy certain things that is not suitable for us, then it's not going to help us anyway. So I always believe that, for us to do great work, it's important for us to take care of our personal finance so that we are independent individual, and then we can think more for the people around us and for the community around us. Who am I? So I am not a certified financial advisor. So please treat me as a regular person trying to solve my own financial situation. I'm not any better than you. As of this recording, if you're super new, I'm just have 19 months of options selling experience ahead of you. And it is just 19 months. So you don't have to believe anything that I say other than whatever that I can show so far. Okay. So personally, I generate weekly cash flow via selling ETF options, and I share what works for me for my setbacks and experience or whatever. I'm very upfront with the risk and limitation, which I try to do so as much as possible. So once again, I'm not aware of your life stage, your insurance coverage, or whatever life and financial goal. I don't think I'm in an appropriate position to ask so much about that until and unless you feel comfortable. If not, I wouldn't want to go into that route. So who is this program not suitable for? So as long as you are seeking for some fast cash and quick cash, easy money, which makes you prone to make some decision driven by greed, then this is not suitable. So for example, if according to plan we sell one contract and you wish to sell 2 or 3 contracts, you want to double or triple the risk because you want to make more money this week. And that is okay if the market were to stay okay, but then if the market were to crash, then your positioning will wreck you a lot. And on the flip side, you totally don't want to take any financial risk. So you are super safe, you want capital guaranteed, then this is not for you. And just a little bit more information, if you were to buy, let's say, T-bill or money market fund, if you read clearly, right, none of them can guarantee any capital. And even like a Lehman Brothers or whatever, they can just go default and all. So understand that every investment, right, comes with its own risk, no matter how much they say that they are safe. There's no capital guarantee. So if you are looking for capital guarantee, this is not for you. And at the same time, because every move that we take, we are calculating the risk. We are taking a calculated risk move. So if you are not a very disciplined person, if you're not a very rule-based person, then this is not for you. And next, right, will be you expect me to spoon feed you and handhold you all the time, then this is not for you. I don't want to be in the place where I am acting like an information counter. Like very basic question like what is ETF, what is option, what's the difference between buy and sell, call and put option. Like all these I've already put in the content, in the MMGPT, even in Google and YouTube, you can search for it. So all these questions, as much as possible, independently look at it yourself. And then for those very nuanced questions, you have some context based on your current unique situation, plus some intermediate and advanced question, then I will be more than happy to share that based on my whatever that I've learned. And of course, if I don't know about it, I'll just tell you that I don't know about it. Yeah. At the same time, you are very impatient. You want quick profits. You are impatient. You don't want to slowly scale in the options premium by reinvesting the option premium for you to generate even more cash flow along the way. Then this is not for you. We are in this for a long run. We want to make sure that we can be as safe as possible because the financial market is brutal, is ruthless. We are just a speck of dust, and maybe we are not even a dust. No one can predict a market. No one can control a market. So we got to respect the market. Who is this? Also, if you already have some experience in trading and investing, this will be good because inherently, psychologically and emotionally, you know that there is risk and you have possibly went through crash before. So you have much more risk stamina on that. But no matter what, whether you are a beginner or what, you have to be independent learner and ask smart, thoughtful question. And let's say if you are a total beginner like my wife, she took about a few months to understand, and which is okay. And along the way, she also asked thoughtful questions about a very unique situation. I'm more than happy to guide. So no worries about that. And of course, being a completely new beginner, they may not even understand what question to ask. So yes, I will still support them in that way, but it's just not like a month to years, that's the magnitude. Generally, for my wife, once she took about 3 practice, which is about 3 weeks, and eventually she started to be independent based on what she do. And of course, along the way, she don't stop there. Along the way, I will still check in with her. I will still look at any other ways that we can potentially optimize her current positioning and stuff like that. So you are someone who is looking for consistent action so that we can get consistent result, and you want to consistently improve as well. So next question, very quickly, why do I charge for the accelerator program? So I can scale content, I can scale AI, but I can't scale myself. I've one life, I have 24 hours, I will die someday. So there's a finite me. And there's also this mutual accountability and sustainability, which means that if you're in, right, then the burden is on me. I need to make sure that I can constantly improve. If not, I don't do you a service. And at the same time, whatever experience and knowledge that I've shared with you, I hope that you can put it into practice to improve your life. If not, if there's no skin in the game for both sides, then this wouldn't work. I've tested a lot of strategies over the last 19 months, particularly about options, but no, I tested a lot. I've absorbed a lot of losses also. Just one experiment last year, June, I was doing some zero DTE iron condor strategy, and eventually I made a few $1,000 on the first few days. I was feeling like a god, but eventually I threw it all out and eventually lost 3.6K net. And so these trial and errors, they are very costly. I wouldn't go on with all this. Let's move on. What's the time, money, emotional commitment from your side? So generally, people ask me like, how much do you start? So for general rule of thumb, what we are doing over here, we don't actively monitor our trade. We want to be on the passive side. Because of passive side, we need some capital. So for 5K, we can start, but we are going to do a less risky trade. And because it's less risky trade, it comes with less reward. So don't compare 5K with whatever that I'm showing every Sunday, 12 p.m. because I have more capital, I have more margin and layers of safety. So please don't compare with that. Another range will be 15 to 30K. It gives you more margin and layers of safety, which is what I mean earlier. Namely, we are using evergreen wheel strategy. The next 50K, we'll do the same thing, evergreen wheel strategy, but at the same time, we are able to deploy a little bit about the sleeping bag ratio, which is to protect ourselves. So even in the event that we unfortunately started at the absolute market top, at the very least, we know that if the market were to slowly correct and crash along the way, then we are able to capture some profits, which in turn reduce our break-even price. So that is the purpose for that. It's not really to make money, but to really protect ourselves and to reduce our risk. And the time on your side is the same as what I have for myself, 15 minutes per week. Why 15 minutes per week? Is because in the past, I spent more than $50,000 in a lot of programs. The one big reason is that if you want to change your life, you must take action. But we can't change our life, we can't take consistent action. So if I'm able to pack everything within 50 minutes per week, then there's no reason for you not to take action. If the action is data back, which is with all these results back, then there's no reason why you can't succeed. Next, in terms of discipline, emotion, yes, please follow a plan. Don't take unnecessary risks. If you need to sell one contract, sell one contract. Don't go 10 contracts. Don't make fast money this week and then eventually risk yourself. Trust the system along the way. So realistically, I don't expect you to trust me. I don't expect you to trust the system. But at the start somewhere. So as you start, then eventually you went through some crash, and after the crash, you realize that you have not died, you'll still survive. And eventually, when the market recover and you see that okay, there's some resilience over there, then that's when you can trust the system more. If not, for now, don't trust me, don't trust anything I say. Next, consistent action, consistent result. This is what we are here for: consistent action, consistent result. Next, what ROI can I expect? So the way we calculate our ROI is based on the whole portfolio. For example, let's say you start with 100K, and at one point in time, we're going to probably use like 5 to 20% of it. And those 5 to 20%, we generate a certain cash flow, and we are going to use the cash flow and measure against our entire 100K portfolio. The reason why is because we want to make sure that we are capital efficient. So, which means that because we are not going to invest all 100% all the time anyway, then we want to make sure that whatever that we achieve must at least achieve beyond 10 to 15%. If not, why bother doing all these active? You can just do dollar cost average into S&P 500 and QQQ, which is much more tried and tested. Also, the ROI depends on your starting capital and also how much reinvested premiums that you have. So, for example, my all-time average has stuck around 19% for a very long time. And ever since I quit my day job, I started to optimize it a little bit more. Then I'm slowly pushing it up to about 25%. And for my last 3 months, I'm able to push it out to around 39%. And this is possible because I am reinvesting a lot of my premiums back to the market. So if you immediately want to retire yourself, you are drawing a lot of cash out, then we got to match our expectation. And the other distinction is that cash flow does not equate to profits. Cash flow is what we get by selling options, right? But profit is also taking into mind that the market goes up and then we get some capital gains along the way. We didn't lose money and all based on our initial capital. That is profit. Profit is something that we can't measure because the market can move anywhere they want. We are just a commoner, speck of dust. So we can't do that. So at the very minimum, what we can anticipate is the cash flow. Okay, and once again, as always, right, past performance, not future outcome. So it's important to scale in gradually any safeguard measures in place. So first thing first, the 3D challenge, the free course, I've stated very clearly. In the event that unfortunately you start from absolute market top and market would drop all the way 93, 94%, and there's a potential that you can lose about 68%. Just take it as about 70%. So this can happen. And at the same time, also share with you the potential for crash, volatility drag, ETF risk, and everything else. So by now, you probably have seen this disclaimer almost everywhere. So first thing first, if you were to go to my social link trees, you probably can see it there. Before and after you join the 3-day challenge, the free course, then you can see this. Before and after you enroll, you can see this. Before and after you take an actual trade, you can see this. Want to double, triple, ensure that you know the kind of risk that you're taking. Then lastly, what am I doing, right, to support you as much as possible? So 3-day challenge is one thing, the free course is one thing. MMGPT, use it to learn as much as possible. Every Sunday, I would post my Friday trade. So Friday, I'll record my trade, and then Sunday, I'll post it on at 12 p.m. I think at the very least I can do is that you can just look at my Sunday trade. If there's ever a day in the future whereby my portfolio will go into a deep red, then you know that, okay, you don't have to follow me anymore because what I have doesn't prove the concept. I don't want to be in a place where I didn't do very well and then I still want to teach, but then what right do I have to teach? So hopefully this video is as transparent as I can humanly be. I respect your time, your attention, for even reading my daily reflective posts, for even giving my 3-day challenge some time to listen to what I have to say. So I guess this is a minimum I can do. So I'll see you soon in another video that's hopefully much more educational. See you. Bye.